Now we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, so now today we are going to talk about 4 sublime abiding according to 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐻. But when we talk about Brahmavihāra, there are 4 types of Brahmavihāra. So today we will talk about Mettā. So there are 4 divine livings or divine abidings: loving kindness, Mettā, compassions, Karuna, and sympathetic joy, Mudita, and equanimity. So these 4 are called divine abidings or divine livings. Sometimes we also say as sublime abiding or sublime living. So whatever usage we use, in Pali we can understand as a Brahmavihāra. Brahma, as you have known that Brahma means a kind of divine beings, right? So that means after attaining jhana, we can be reborn in the Brahma worlds. If we can radiate Mettā, or if we can practice loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity, we are equal to Brahma. So these 4 are also called Apamanya, immeasurable. When we are going to radiate Mettā, we have to take all living beings as an object. So we can understand that these 4 types of meditations take immeasurable living beings as objects. We can also understand that these 4 types of meditation can take unlimited living beings as an object. So by radiating Mettā, Karuna, Mudita, and Upekkha towards all living beings, we can also attain jhanas. So here I have 1 recommendations according to 𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐬𝐻. Before practicing Mettā, the meditator should review the danger of hate and the benefit of patience. So what is the danger of hatred? So we should understand that if there's a danger, if we have dosa, then our wisdom is totally blind and we don't have any wisdom faculties anymore. That is why we cannot know cause and effect relationship. We cannot know good and bad. It's totally blind and totally dark. So if dosa or hatred will force us to do many shameful things, it's very powerful. Not only that, it will force us to speak, to think very, very serious or very, very heavy, wrong things. It also can force us to compete with evil people or bad people. So when we get angry, it's not gracious. It's more harmful things. Then it will less benefits. No, we cannot say less benefits. No benefits, but more harmful things will arise when we have dosa. So we have to reflect or review the danger of hate or hatred. In Pali, we can say dosa. Also mentioned, we also have to review the benefit of patience or kanti. Of course, here we mention the reason of reviewing. So Atitan na arinawa bahadum, abandon the unseen danger. Of course, we have many unseen danger. When we have hatred, we will hate somebody, then there will be many, many bad actions. There can be many revenge. There can be many, many unseen dangers we have. Not only that, Avidita Nisamsam Adikanto to attain unknown advantages. Of course, there are many unknown advantages. Especially when we have kanti, patience, we have more advantages. For example, it will be opposite to hatred. When we have kanti, we will know the cause-effect relationship. We also know good and bad. As we have a darkness in the hatred or anger, but here when we have patience, it's the light. No more darkness. It will encourage us not to do many shameful things and not to speak many shameful things, not to think many bad things. It will never force us to compete with bad people. That is the power of patience. So there are also many unknown advantages, right? Whenever we remember we can rejoice what we have done. This is also by the power of patience. So when we have patience, there will be more benefits. It will be graceful. That is the nature of patience. So when we can review both the danger of hatred and the benefit of or the advantages of patience, then we can start practicing radiating mettā. So one more thing here we have to introduce about mettā. Whenever we talk about mettā, it means we have to love all the living beings equally. Sometimes we love ourselves too much, we become selfish. Similarly, when we love other people too much, we are also totally blind. As you see, life is blind, right? Similarly, hatred also blind. Actually, all the defilements can make us blind. Again, the main thing is here, when we have mettā, we have to love all the living beings equally. That's the meaning of mettā. So it will be different from love. So here we don't have any other interpretation. We just use as loving kindness. So when we are going to radiate mettā, we also have to know step by steps, practicing. Of course, it will take time to radiate mettā to our enemies. Many people also come and ask me, how can we radiate mettā towards our enemies? It's not that easy because they disturb us. They also make many things harmful to us. We cannot love equally. Not that easy to love them equally. So we have to practice step by step. So when we are going to radiate mettā, we have to radiate mettā to ourselves because we love ourselves most. The another one is, if we start with very enemy, number 5, right? We enemy, then it disturbs us too much. We cannot start meditating because it will be very harmful. We will have many bad memories. Then it will make our mind very tired. So briefly, we have to start radiating mettā to ourselves. Then 2, Guru Bhavaniya. Here we translate as a respected person. A guru means like a respectable, higher people, something like a teacher or somebody. Especially when we talk about the Guru Bhavaniya, that means moral people. Mostly we respect moral people. So in our environment, we may have many respectable people, respected people. Then we can radiate mettā toward them as a second. Then we can continue be a dear person, such as our parents, our relatives, our friends. So here we have to understand one more thing about these two, Guru Bhavaniya and Bhiya. So if we love, it will be very close to us, but respect, it can be close to us, it also cannot be close to us. For example, I respect Paul 𝐸𝐸𝐺, but I'm not very close to 𝐸𝐸𝐺. I live in Myanmar, I live in Myanmar, he lives in Myanmar. So similarly, there are many respectable people. I cannot, so for example, I cannot associate Paul Sayadaw as a friend because he's my teacher. Right? Similar to that, there are many other cases. For example, you can associate or communicate with your parents like a friend. It's possible. But when you respect somebody, you cannot be a friend anymore. Right? Okay, anyway, the main thing is Guru Bhavaniya, respectable person, moral people, higher value. Yeah, of course, it's also valuable people for us, like our parents, our relatives, our friends. Then 4, Mettā, an indifferent person. Indifferent person means we have seen on the way, or we have met, but we don't know the name. There are many people like that. For example, when I come to Singapore, or when I go to USA, or when I go to other country, like Canada, or Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Vietnam, or many other countries. Whenever I go, I have met many people. Even I didn't know their name. So all these people are called indifferent people. They are not a respectable person, neither respectable nor dear. They are just indifferent people. I haven't met, I haven't seen, even I don't know their name. So we can just like a medium people, right? Neither love nor hate. So if we don't love or hate, this is called Mettā, an indifferent person. Vairi is an enemy. Of course, when we talk about Vairi, they disturb us, right? They are problem maker in our community. So when we are going to radiate Mettā, we have to follow these steps. First, radiate Mettā toward ourselves. Then we can radiate Mettā towards respectable persons. Then we have to radiate Mettā towards a dear person and an indifferent person. Finally, we have to radiate Mettā towards an enemy. So these are the steps we have to follow. The next one, how to radiate Mettā. Of course, there are many ways to radiate Mettā. So, okay, now Aham Sukhi Do Homi, may I be happy. Aham need to call. Okay, here it must be devotee. Sorry, there's a mistake, right? Need to call Homi, may I be free from suffering. This we can find these things in this kind of radiated Mettā in Visuddhimagga. There are many Mettā sutras in Buddha's teaching. For example, we have Karaniya Mettā Sutta. It will mention many different ways of radiating Mettā according to Mettā sutras. But now here today, we are going to explain in brief. So now we can also use another method. 1. Aham Aviro Homi, may I keep myself free from enmity. So we can also understand another way, may I be free from danger. Vairami, enemies or enmities or danger. 2. Abhyapajo Homi, may I keep myself free from mental pain. Here, Abhyapaja, this means we call Vyapada. Vyapada means ill will. This is mental pain. That's why we just translate as may I keep myself free from mental pain. Not only that, we can also say many other types of hatred, many other types of unpleasant feeling in our minds. So Abhija covers, Abhyapaja or Abhyapada cover all types of unpleasant feeling in our minds. Okay, now, one more thing here we have to understand. When we start radiating Mettā, we have to radiate Mettā to ourselves, visualizing our own smiling face or maybe our posture, what we like most. then wishing ourselves to be free from danger or to be free from enmity, we must radiate slowly, steadily. 𝐸𝐴𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐸𝐵 in Pali, or may I keep myself free from enmity. So similarly, many other similar synonyms, similar synonym constructions. For example, may I be free from danger. This is also possible. Then two, the 𝐴hāng āvyabhajo in Pali, or may I keep myself free from mental pain. Or we can also radiate metta, may I be free from mental pain. This is also okay. Then three, 𝐴hāng ānigo may I keep myself free from bodily pain. Actually, aniga means similar to dukkha. So here we have two different things, dukkha and domanassa in Pali. When we talk about domanassa, it means mental pain or unpleasant feeling in our mind. When we talk about dukkha, it means bodily pain. Sorry. So here, 𝐴hāng may I keep myself free from bodily pain, or may I be free from bodily pain. We can use any formula to radiate metta to ourselves. 4. 𝐴hāng sukhi attanam briharami. May I take care of myself happily. Sukhi means happily, attanami, our body, or ourselves. Briharami means take care of. So sometimes we can also translate like may I be well and happy. Anyway, we can use any formula, similar, any synonym or any similar translations. Right? 𝐸𝐴𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐸𝐵, 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵, 𝐸𝐴𝐕𝐢𝐬𝐸𝐸, 𝐸𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵𝐴𝐵. We can use one of these formula. So mostly we recommend to radiate metta all the four formula one by one after another. So after that, we can also choose only one formula, the best formula to radiate metta to ourselves. So after that, we have already mentioned we have to start radiating metta towards our respected persons and dear persons, indifferent persons, and enemies. So these are the steps we have to follow. Then in the Pali canons, we can find many Pali texts talking about metta. So we also have 12 types of living beings. So when we are going to radiate metta, we also have to understand these 12 types of living beings. Okay, one more thing here. When we radiate metta to ourselves, we cannot attain jhana. But when we can radiate metta towards other living beings, we can attain jhana. Mostly we recommend these 12 types of living beings, 12 kinds of living beings, after radiating metta towards ourselves, dear person, indifferent persons, and enemies. Especially after breaking down all the barriers, we recommend to continue radiating metta towards 12 kinds of living beings. Anyway, I have to introduce Sabbe Satta. Satta means all living beings or all beings. It's just general translation. When we talk about Satta, according to Pali's word constructions, according to Pali roots, we can understand those who have attachment to their life. We all have attachment to our life. All the living beings also have attachment to their life. But our hearts does not have attachment to their life. So we ordinary people have attachment to our life. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami have attachment to their life. So Arhat and Arhat also, before attaining Arhatship, when they were just ordinary people, Sotapanna, Sakadagami, or Anagami, then they also have attachment to their life. So, referring to the past, they still have attachment to their life. That's why we call Sabbe-satta. It also includes an arhat. Sabbe-pana, all breathing beings. When we talk about meditation practice and the realms or existences, in the Brahma worlds, they cannot practice anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, because they don't have breathing. So when we talk about Sabbe-pana, all breathing beings, so Brahmas does not have breathing. How shall we radiate metta toward them? Of course, before they were born as a Brahma, they also have breathing. That's why we can radiate metta toward them. So past meaning, right? Then in the past, they have breathing. That's why we can also radiate metta towards Brahmas. 3. Sabbe Buddha. So those who are born. Okay, now here, when we talk about Buddha, that means those who are born according to their karma and kilesa. As you have known, karma is our own creator. Karma is our own. Karma is our creator. Then only karma cannot produce a life. There must be kilesa, a supporting cause of karma. If a kilesa supports, then karma will produce a new life. Because we have attachment to our life, we accumulate karma, we are born as a human being. So that is why we have to know we all are born according to karma and kilesa. What about an arhat? Of course, they were born before attaining arhat, attaining arhatship. That's when they also have karma and kilesa before attaining an arhatship. So here we just mention all who are born. That means those who are born according to their karma and kilesa defilements. This is called Sabbe Buddha. It covers all types of living beings. Sabbe Buddhala. Okay, one more explanation here. When we say Buddhala, that means those who has been born in the hell. The Buddha says, for a negligent people, the fourfold states is like their house or their home. So we just visited in the human realms. Our home is fourfold states. Because we are easy to do many bad things. We are very difficult to do good things. When we are going to do something good, we hesitate. So when we hesitate to do many bad things, then we become better, we become cleverer. Anyway, when we talk about Buddhala, although we translate as all persons, but it means those who has been born in the hell. Everybody has been born in the hell. Even the Bodhisattva has been born in the hell before he received definite prophecy. Anyway, so it covers all living beings. 5. Sabbe atta bhava priyapanna. All who have personality. Okay, here we have to explain atta bhava priyapanna. So we have many different types of aggregate in our life, in our environment, especially in the Brahma worlds. There are 1 aggregate Brahmans. There are also 4 aggregate Brahmans. There are also 5 aggregate Brahmans. We human beings are 5 aggregates. There are many other animals, many other living beings also 5 aggregates. So briefly, we essential beings are 5 aggregate living beings. Then in the Brahma worlds, 1 aggregate, there are also 4 aggregates, also 5 aggregates. We have different personality, different atta power. Atta power also can be called body. So it covers all types of living beings. So 1 to 5, all these cover all types of living beings. After that, we have to talk about 𝐸𝐸𝐸, all females. This is grouping, different grouping now. So it can be a human being, a divine being, also can be animals, hair beings, all the females. So sometimes, for example, some people, they also ask, should I radiate metta to my mother, my aunt, my sister, something like that? Mostly, when we are going to radiate metta towards the opposite sex, we should radiate in group. We should not radiate one by one. Later, we have to explain a little bit in detail. Okay, now again, number 7. It is Sabbe Bodhisattva, all males. As you have known that we have already mentioned all types of females, now also all types of males, whether he can be a human being, or animals, or hair beings, or divine beings, or Brahmans. The age, Sabbe Ariya, all nobles. So from Sotapanna to Arhat. 9. Sabbe Anariya, all ignobles. Yeah, Anariya also means all types of ordinary living beings. Before attaining path and fruition knowledge, all the living beings are called Anariya, ignobles. So we can also say all the Bhutujana, all the worldly people. Then 10, Sabbe Deva, all divine beings. Okay, here one more thing I have to talk about Sabbe Deva, divine beings. Mostly when we talk about Deva, many people understand Brahma is not Deva. Right? There are many Brahmas in the Brahma worlds, they are not Deva. They also misunderstand like that. So we have, sorry, like a Sammuti Deva, like the king. This is called Sammuti Deva. Now we also have Visuddhi Deva, like a Buddha. We also have like a Upapatti Deva. This also then simultaneous born, simultaneous birth, such as Devas and Brahmas. So some Asura also Deva Asuras, right? They also can be considered as a Devas, simultaneous birth. So all the simultaneous born are also called Upapatti Deva. So when we talk about Sabbe Deva, when we are going to radiate metta towards, when we are going to use this formula, Sabbe Deva, it covers Devas and Brahmas. 11. Sabbe Manusa, all human beings. Of course, we don't need to explain all human beings, right? 12. Sabbe Vinipadika, all beings from lower ranks. So it can be an animal, also can be hair beings, also can be beta, ghosts. Any kind of lower realms living beings can be considered as a Vinipadika. So that means, this means Vinipadika means those who are spoiled by their karma, they are born in the lower realms. So these are called 12 kinds of living beings. We are going to radiate Mettā towards. Okay, we have to move. Next one. So sometimes when we are going to radiate Mettā, our mind is not ready. Then we should remove hatred. Sometimes when we are going to break down the barriers, it's not that easy to have loving kindness towards like enemies, right? To our enemies. That is why we have to think about overcoming or removing hatred. So 11 ways to get rid of resentment. We can also understand another way. 11 ways to get rid of hatred. So the first one is radiating Mettā. This is also one of the methods to get rid of hatred. But sometimes it's not that easy. Sorry. So if it's not very easy, then we should review the discourse in Kakachubama Sutta and so on. So there are many other suttas about hatred. So Kakachubama Sutta can be found in Majjhima Nikaya. They mention the Damakshana gave way to anger, even though he sawn limbs from limbs with two-handed saw. So that means, although our limbs are cut by the saw, our enemies will use the saw and cut our enemies, so our limbs. Although they are cutting our limbs, we must not get angry. If we get angry, we are not listening to the Buddha's teaching. And that's Sutta mentioned like that. So we have another one, Kodana Sutta. This is from Anguttara Nikaya. So 7 ways to gratify and help your enemies and your enemies' wish. This is the Buddha saying. So sometimes when we get angry, we are helping our enemies. You know, when we are suffering, our enemies will be happy. So there mentions, okay, A. Here I just use A, right? Then let you ugly. That means your enemy will wish you to be ugly. So when you, for example, now you look good, but you know when there's some injury or maybe some burning in your face, it will spoil your beauty, then they will be happy. When we become ugly, we are fulfilling our enemy's wish. So again, for example, like when we get angry also, we are not good looking, right? We does not look good. We does not look nice. Because of anger, our facial expressions are not really very good. Our behavior, speech, thoughts, all the things are really very bad. Then it will make us ugly. B. Let you lie in pain. Of course, we have to suffer from many things. Sure, they will be happy. Right? Then again, we have let you have no fortune. So again, we have let you have no, let you not wealthy. Very easy, right? So when we become poor, they will be happy. Let you not be famous. So when we are notorious, they will be happy. Let you have no friends. right? If we have to live alone, walk alone, they will be happy. Let you not reappear in the heavenly world after death. These sevens are the wish of our enemies. So, if we have all these things, then we are fulfilling our enemy's wish. Okay, now one more thing. 3. Recalling his good qualities. So in this case, we have to understand one more thing about the good qualities. That one is, for example, he may have some good behavior. For example, although he is not very good to us, he may be very good to the triple jinn. He may respect to the Buddha very, very well. Whatever he will do very respectfully. So whenever he listens to the Dhamma, he will listen respectfully. Whenever he is in the Sangha assembly, he also respects Sangha very much, very deeply. Then not only that, his vinaya is also, there are many, many good points of his vinaya. For example, he wears the robes according with Sakya rules, and so forth. So if we have known his good qualities, we can recall his good qualities, that we may not hate him that much. So similarly, that you may have many, many enemies, or there will be many people who disturb you. When they have good quality, just recall it. Actually, we can release from mental pain, resentment, or hatred, or anger. 4. Radiating compassion. Okay, that means when we talk about compassions, that means he is beautiful living beings. Although he has been born as a human being now, he was doing many, many harmful things to other people, other living beings. After death, he will be reborn in the hell, in the fourfold states. When somebody is doing many, many bad things, we should have compassion, we should have pity for them. So, actually, I also recommend many times, some meditator come ask me, I hate this people or that people, he's very bad to me, something like that. Then I just recommend them, just have pity for them, for him or for her, because it's very harmful for him, very harmful for her, not for us. That's why we just recommend radiating compassion is also effective to overcome hatred or resentment. Then we have 5, admonition oneself. We should admonish ourselves. So there are 10 ways to admonish ourselves when we see our enemies or when somebody disturbs us. Okay, here I list out all the 10. Okay, now the first one. My enemy can disturb my body. He cannot disturb my mind. I'm the only person who can disturb my mind. That is the first things we have to disturb. So we have to review, or we have to admonish ourselves. Then 2, or here B, right? I can leave my family. If I cannot leave anger, it means I love anger more than my family. That's just for ordained person. When we are ordained, we have to leave our family. We have to live alone. Although we can give up our family, our family life, but we cannot give our anger. That means we love anger more than our family, right? This is also important. So from time to time, we have to remind ourselves, see, anger cannot the root of virtue, moral shame and moral dread. It should not follow the anger. Okay, here one more thing about the root of virtues, the root of morality. Moral shame and moral dreads are the primary cause of morality. Later, we have to talk about Hidayotapa. We also have to talk about the characteristics, the function, the manifestation, and the primary cause of moral shame and moral dreads. So the primary cause of moral shame and moral dreads is respect. Moral shame comes from respecting oneself. Moral dreads also come from respecting other people. So when we have anger, the anger will spoil moral shame and moral dreads because we are not shameful anymore. We will not feel any moral dread anymore. Then here mentioned I shall not follow the anger. That is also important. From time to time, we have to respect our value. We also have to respect the value of moral teaching and something like that. Then we may have moral shame and moral dreads. Then we may have more following moral precepts. Okay, now D. Why should I compete with an ignoble person who does evil deeds? Sometimes we are competing with evil people, bad people. Why we should compete with ignoble persons or evil people or bad people? We should remind ourselves like this. Okay, now, next one, E. Why should I fulfill my enemy's wish? Okay, we talk about right? Seven wishes of our enemies. When we get angry, we are fulfilling their wish. Okay, now next one, F. My anger is not sure to disturb my enemies. It definitely disturbs me. Okay, here we have to explain one more thing about disturbing, right? So sometimes we also have to review many other stanzas or many other sutras. There's one explanation of the Buddha. For example, when we are going to throw at our enemies with burning charcoal, before we are throwing at him, we have to grasp or hold burning charcoal. It's not very sure it will hit our enemies or not. It will burn our hand first. That is one thing. Also, another simile, when we are going to throw at our enemies with excrement, with dirty things, right? Impure things. It's not sure it will hit our enemies or not. First of all, our hands have to touch. We have to touch or grasp. It will smear our hand first. It will be smelly. Similarly, our anger is not sure to disturb our enemies, but it definitely disturbs us. We have to review this kind of things. Then we can overcome resentment. We can also overcome anger or hatred. G. My enemy leads me to the wrong path. Why should I follow him? So, one more thing here. our enemies will lead to the wrong path. That means miserable life, to the hell. When we get angry, we must be reborn in the hell. It's miserable life. So when we get angry, it's sure. If we pass away when angry, then we will be reborn in the hell. So our enemies will lead us to the anger. Then if we follow him, we are fulfilling his wish. So we have to understand, we have to know the long time suffering and short time suffering. If we can be patient for a short time, we can feel happy for a long time. Right? So if we follow the wrong path, it will be for a long time suffering. So we should review, or we should admonish ourselves. Okay, next one. H. Finding faults of me. My enemies get angry. By having cured my faults, I should get angry groundlessly. So that means sometimes our enemies will find faults of ourselves or us. Right? Also, we may get angry if I have a cure our faults. Then we should not get angry, right? Our curing. We should not get angry anymore. Then not only that, sometimes we are like a slave. We are slave. So if we have already, if we just follow his wish, or if we just angry when they find faults, we become slave of our enemies. Not only that, sometimes we are slave of our faults. So if I can cure our faults, if we can amend ourselves, we are no more slave. We become the master. This is also one of the way to admonish ourselves. The mentality that insults me has already passed away. Who should I get angry with? This is also one of the things we have to review, or we have to admonish ourselves. As a meditator, we have learned many different things about Namarupas. We have already known Namarupa will arise and perish rapidly. So it will be shorter than in nanoseconds. The lifespan of mentality will be shorter than in nanoseconds. It will arise and perish very rapidly. So when we can discern ultimate realities in this body, we can also know that Namarupas are rising and perishing. The one who insults us has already gone. As we have the saying, right? We cannot swim in the same river 2 times, because all the water has already gone. We are swimming in the new water. Similarly, when we are getting angry with our enemies who insult us very long time, that means we are like getting angry with wrong people, new people, not old people. So this is also one of the things we have to really matter to ourselves. Okay, now the last one, J. And then if there's no one to be harmed, no one can harm. Okay, this is one thing we have to understand. So, when we are going to make fire, when we are going to maintain the flame of fire, there must be fuel, there must be fire. Similarly, if we don't accept his insulting, he cannot insult anybody. You know, the Buddha himself used this method. In Ora Nikaya, we have one just called Akosaka Bharadwaja, you know. He just come to the Buddha and use many abusive words. The Buddha talked to him. When your friends, or when you send gifts to your friends, if they don't accept, it's whose belonging? The Brahmin replied, it's my belonging. The Buddha said, now they say, I don't accept your gifts. That means abusive words. It belongs to you. Similarly, now, sometimes if we don't take don't pay any attention to our enemies, then we are free from insulting. We can neglect or we can ignore them, right? This is also the way to overcome anger or resentment. Okay, now we have next one. The previous one is just for Awada, right? Admonishment. But this one is for 6. Reviewing karma ownership. The previous is just when we get angry, we have to give Awada, right? There are 10 ways to give Awada. Now 6. That one is talking about karma ownership. So we are born according to our karma. His karma will give its results in the future. Our karma will give our result in our future. That is why we have to, as I have given the simile before, when we are going to throw a stone or a burning charcoal at our enemies, it will burn our hand first, right? Similarly, if we have anger, then just we get angry with our enemies, just harming our body, harming our minds. So that means we cannot create his karma, he cannot create our karma. We have to create our own karma. Our karma will create our future. When we understand karma ownership, we may have less resentment or less anger, less hatred. 7. Reviewing the conduct of Bodhisattva in the past. So this is also one of the things. Actually, it mentioned 9 Jataka stories in Visuddhimagga. It'll be too long, right? Okay, I will not say all the 9, but here I will introduce one of his life. When he was born as a Kandiwadi means he practiced Kandi Parami at the time. We call Kandiwadi. I mean, he teach Kandi, patience, perseverance. He also practiced perseverance, patience. One day when he was living in the Raya Park, the king, the name of king is Kalabu, and he came to the Raya Park for picnicking with his Raya maidens. While the king was sleeping, all the performers, all the dancers left. Only one maid has to live there because the king was keeping his head in her lap. That's why she cannot leave. She cannot leave. When the king wake up, asks, where are all ladies, all my companies, all my companions? Then the lady had bad intention. She said, My Majesty, although they get payment from you, but they are accompanying one ascetic, because she saw all the ladies are accompanying or like a sitting around an ascetic listening to the discourse. At that time, Kandiwadi talked to them. That's for patience or for no more jealousy or no more stinginess or something like that. They talk about the quality of people, right? How to be good. How to be good people. Then the king got angry. She used the K with the thorn. He beat the ascetic. The ascetic didn't say anything. Then he also asked, what is it you are teaching? What are you practicing? What kind of practice do you follow? He mentioned, I just follow Kanti, patience of forbearance. The king got angry again. So he cut ear of the ascetic. The ascetic said, Kanti does not exist in the ear. Then he cuts the nose. Then the ascetic said, Kanti didn't exist in my nose. He cuts finger, hands, gradually. Okay, finally, he just killed. Until his death moment, he just practiced Kanti, patience. This is one of his life. So there are many other stories mentioned in Visuddhimagga. Okay, here it will be too long, that's why I will not explain all the things. 8. Reviewing relationship in the samsara, such as he has been my father, my brother, and so forth. For in a family, the father has to take care of the children. Older brother has to take care of younger brother. Sometimes younger brothers have to take care of older brother. If somebody has been born as a mother, so she has to take care of her children. So sometimes, they have to clean. For example, like our parents have to clean our body. Although it's very dirty, they will clean willingly. They have that kind of goodness, that kind of kindness to us. So we have to review that kind of relationship in the past. I mean, in the samsara, she has been born as my mother or my elder sister, my aunt, something like that. As our aunt, our mother, our sister take care of us. She has been taking care of us in the past. Similarly, if as our father take care of us, and she has been born as a father, as a brother, and he also has taken care of us. He has been taking care of us in the past. We have to review their gratitudes in the past. Then we can overcome resentment and anger or hatred. Then now another one is reviewing 11 benefits of Mettā. Later we have to talk about the benefits of Mettā. Here maybe I will list out one by one. Then 10 trying resolution into elements or 32 body parts. Actually, I also remind many people, I also recommend people to do this one many times. Even sometimes I also use in my Dhamma talk. I like this formula. So for example, if we hate somebody, we should check one by one all the 32 body parts. For example, head hair. Do you hate head hair? If you have a chance to beat head hair, can you release from anger or hatred? So because we just hate all over the body, if we just separate it or analyze this part by part, cut it part by part, piece by piece, if we ask each piece, we can overcome hatred. Then not only that, for about 4 elements, as we have already know, there's a hardness in our body, one of the earth elements. Do we hate hardness, roughness, heaviness, softness, smoothness, lightness? If we ask one by one, there's nobody to hate. Because we understand this body is made of 4 elements. This is also one of the ways to overcome hatred. Then the last one, giving a useful gift. So sometimes, although we try many ways, if we cannot overcome hatred or anger or resentment, we should give a useful gift. For example, sometimes we offer, right? If we hate if I hate some bhikkhu, I will offer a useful thing for him. He will love it. If we disturb us or if we hate us, we will offer useful gifts. Otherwise, sometimes it's also not effective, right? Sometimes, some people are very negligent. They don't have any awareness. Then sure, they cannot know any gratitude or any things in their. They don't have any feeling in their mind. Whatever thing we do, then they will hate. This is the exception. For there, if there's a normal or the ordinary hatred, by giving a useful gift, we can overcome it. We can make friendship again. So these are the 11 ways to overcome the resentment or the hatred or the anger. But according in Visuddhimagga, it mentioned 11 ways to get rid of resentment. But mostly we have to understand as 11 ways to overcome hatred or anger. Okay, now we have to move to the next one. Sima Samveda, breaking down barriers. So he can direct his mind impartially towards himself and all living beings. So first, we have already said we have to ready Mettā to ourselves. As I had mentioned before, when we are breaking down the barriers, we have to start with ourselves. After that, we have to ready Mettā to a dear person. So if we ready Mettā to a dear person continuously, we can break down barriers between ourselves and our dear person. No barriers. As we love ourselves, we can also love our dear person equally. Then we can break down the first part. Then 2, neutral people. We can also say indifferent people. So we have to ready Mettā to ourselves, a dear person, an indifferent person, one by one, one after another, continuously, until we can break down the barriers. For example, May I be free from danger. We have to radiate metta to ourselves. After that, our dear person, may he be free from danger. Then our indifferent people, may he be free from danger. Again. So until we can break down the barriers, we can radiate metta continuously, again and again, many times. If we love equally ourselves, dear person, and indifferent person, then we have to proceed to the next one, enemies, 3. Previously, we have already talked about 11 ways to overcome resentment, or hatred or anger. When we have difficulty to radiate metta to our enemies, we should use all these 11 ways to overcome hatred. After that, we can use radiate metta. We can radiate metta to our enemies. So mostly when we have very strong concentration, we can practice easily. We can radiate metta to ourselves, dear person, and indifferent persons and enemies. We can also break down the barriers easily. So until what kind of states should we radiate metta? What does it mean breaking down barriers? For example, a bandit or a pet peeve, a gangster who asks ourselves, there are four persons, right? Are in the prison. They have already captured or arrested 4 persons. Then they will ask, who should I kill? You, dear person, indifferent persons, or enemies? Then if we cannot give anybody, if we don't wish anybody to die, then that means we have metta. We can break down the barriers. We love ourselves, dear person, indifferent person, and an enemy equally without any barriers. We can break down the barriers. Now we have to continue the next steps. So okay, previous slides. So when we can love ourselves, dear or neutral enemies, then this means we are breaking down the barriers. So one more thing here to remind: when we are going to radiate metta, we must radiate metta to our own sex. When we radiate metta towards opposite sex, we can have attachment to opposite sex. That's why we should choose our own sex. For example, male meditator should radiate metta to a male, dear person, indifferent persons, enemies. Female meditators have to radiate metta towards their own sex, female, dear person, respected persons, or dear person, indifferent persons, and enemies. So after breaking down the barriers, the meditator can attain asset concentration. So one more thing here. What is the limiter of metta meditation? It's living beings. So we have up to now, we have already explained many different meditation subjects. Different meditation subjects have different limiter. Now here in the case of metta meditations, living beings are the object of metta. So if we can see living beings, if we can radiate metta to our living beings, or are clear as origin, for example, when we radiate metta to ourselves, our body, our face must be clear. When we radiate metta to a dear person, his appearance, his face must be clear. If we can maintain the face of the image of living beings and also metta mind toward them, we can attain asset concentrations. We can also attain jhana concentration, absorption concentration. Okay, now we have to move the next steps. So these are the benefits of metta. Okay, before talking about benefit of metta, I also have to introduce one more thing about 10 directions, right? Okay, anyway, later we also have to talk about 10 directions. So, okay, let me check. So we have to continue, right? Oh, we have to introduce the 528 ways of radiating methods. As we have already mentioned, 4 different formulas, Avirohomi, Avyabajohomi, Nigohomi, Sugedana, and Briharami, 4 formulas. Also, we have already mentioned 12 types of living beings. 12 multiplied by 4. Okay, this is the number. After that, after radiating methods to all the living, after breaking down the barriers, we can start radiating metta towards Sabe Sada, Sabe Panan, all the 12 types of living beings one after another. So there are 10 directions. We have 8 directions, after the up and down, altogether 10 directions. So in our daily chants, we also have Bodhati Maya Desaya, right? Bhati Maya Desaya, Dakina Desaya, Udaraya Desaya, and so forth. We have all 10 directions. So we can radiate metta towards one directions. So we can find this kind of teaching in many suttas. Even Anguttara Nikaya, many suttas. Even also we can also find the same instructions in Digha Nikaya, Majjhima Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, even Khuddaka Nikaya. There are many suttas about radiating metta to 10 directions. So first of all, we have to radiate metta towards all living beings in the East, for example. Pratimaya Disaya Sabbe Sada Avera Hondu. So living beings, all living beings from the East, right? This is a Sabbe Sada. Pratimaya Disaya. So when we radiate metta, may all living beings from the East be free from suffering or free from danger. So we should radiate metta until we can attain the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana. After that, we can also follow all the direction, right, like clockwise. Also, as Visuddhimagga mentioned, or as it mentioned in many other suttas, right, we can also say east and west, north and south. After that, 4 corners, one after another. We can also say from the from the east and southeast, after the south, also southwest and west, northwest, also north, northeast. So we can also radiate metta up and down, all the 10 directions. So all the 12 living beings multiplied by 10. This is called Odisha Parana. Odisha Parana means directions, directionals. So without limiting directions, we can also radiate metta towards all living beings in all 10 directions overall. Then, okay, briefly, there are 528 ways of radiating metta altogether. So if we can practice successfully, we can also have the benefits of radiating metta. So we can sleep in comfort. Sometimes if we cannot sleep comfortably, when we have sickness or when we have like distractions or stress, then when we have depressions, we can also radiate metta to ourselves. And we can also do all other living beings step by step. So one wake up in comfort. Sometimes, when we have bad dream, we wake up very terribly, screaming. So when we have metta, we will wake up in comfort. Then again, 3, one dreams no evil dreams, nightmare, right? Sometimes nightmare. So we will not have nightmare, no bad dreams. 4, one is dear to human beings. So that means human beings will love us. When we have metta, we may have good behavior, good speech, good thoughts. Our appearance also very polite. People will love us. One is dear to non-human beings, such as 𝐏𝐻𝐿𝐸𝐬𝐜, right? The augurs, ghosts, they also love. So, because, when we study Mettā Sutta, it mentions many things about, right, disturbance. Many tree devas, forest devas, disturb the bhikkhus, because they don't radiate metta. The Buddha give instructions how to radiate metta. They went back to the same forest. They just radiate metta towards all the devas there. They can make friends. The no more disturbance. 6, devas, gods, one. So divine beings will protect us from the danger. Okay, the next one. Then fire, poisons, weapons do not affect one. So when we talk about fire, poison, weapons, right? When we have very strong metta, it will not affect us. That means there are many stories like that. For example, Uttara and Sirima. Sirima is going to splash Uttara with hot oil. Uttara is the lady Uttara was radiating metta towards Sirima. It does not affect. Just normal cool oil, not hot anymore. Similarly, the Buddha radiated metta towards Nalagiri, the right elephant. Because of metta, it stops. It becomes very polite. So, okay, now 8. One's mind is easily concentrated. So when we have metta, we have calmness of the mind. We can also have tranquility, rapture, joy. We can concentrate easily, as we have experienced in our practice. Right? When we have calmness of the mind, it's easier to practice. Sometimes we cannot calm down our mind easily. We cannot practice easily. So 9. Once the complexion becomes bright. So here we have mind produces materiality in our body. When our mind becomes very calm and quiet, very calm and like a tranquilized, then mind produces materiality become brighter. In reality, the color of mind produces materiality become brighter. Successively, for example, like now we have that normal concentration. After meditation, we may have better concentration. There can be brighter lights, because the 5 generations of mind produce materiality will produce brightness in color, but that generation will produce brighter color, and gradually it becomes very bright. So now because of the power of mind produce materialities, the complexions also, complexion becomes bright. 10. One dies unconfused. If we have to pass away with confused minds, we cannot be reborn in good destination. So if we have to pass away mindfully, then we can be reborn in a good destination. Last year, when we have COVID-19, the first wave, and the second wave maybe in Myanmar, right? Year 2010, maybe 2010. 2020, sorry. We have one bhikkhu who passed away in Paotoya. No, before passing away, there are some people who took care of him. You know, he offered all his properties to take care of. Caretaker, you know, he offered all property, all the valuable properties are offered to the caretakers after he passed away. So that means, although he's not successful in meditation, when he passed away, he died unconfused. This is lucky enough. Then, okay, now the last one, 11. If one penetrates no higher, one will be reborn in the Brahma worlds. So which means, if we cannot attain jhana, if we cannot attain partner of the arhatship, that means when we have attained arhatship, we cannot be reborn anymore. We will enter Nibbana, right? If we cannot attain arhatship, but we can attain jhana, we can be reborn in the Brahma worlds. At least we can be reborn in the good destination. These are the benefits of radiating Mettā. If we are successful, if we can radiate Mettā successfully, we can get all these benefits. So today we have already talked about Mettā meditation. I think you also have known the Knowing and Seeing, 𝐸𝐴 books. You can also find all this information in Knowing and Seeing, written by 𝐸𝐴. You can also learn how to radiate Mettā from his books. Today I just introduce briefly from Visuddhimagga. Actually, there are many other informations, and will explain as miscellaneous informations about four sublime abiding. So Mettā is also important in our community. The Buddha also says in another Mettā Sutta, we have bodily loving kindness, kaya kama Mettā. Also we have bhava loving kindness, vajikama Mettā. We also have mental loving kindness, manokama Mettā. So our behavior must be, we can show our kindness with our behavior. Our behavior must be good to other people. We can show our kindness with our speech. We can have loving kindness to all living beings mentally. Not only that, the Buddha also mentions we should also have loving kindness in the presence of other living beings or in the absence of other living beings. Although we are very far, we can still have loving kindness. When we have loving kindness, our environments will be better. So today I will stop here. May you all be able to practice the Buddha's teaching, the three trainings, and may you all be able to realize endless suffering, final cessation, Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Dear Sayadaw, there are some Mettā chanting in different languages, which are accompanied by very nice rhythm, like background music. Are these chantings suitable for our Mettā meditation? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, it's just for, if there's music, just for listening, not for meditation. When we are going to practice, we have to close all the 6 doors, we have to, or 5 doors, only mind, we have to open only our mind door. That is why when we have many other chanting, like a music meditation or something like that, it's not recommended by the Buddha. It's going to be Buddhist meditation. Okay.
Question number 2. Dear Sayadaw, some meditators are afraid to see Pida and woeful state beings. In such case, if they skip the woeful state beings during their practice, how they can be successful in the Mettā meditation, since meditators need to send Mettā to 12 types of being in 10 directions. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, here we have to understand one more thing. When we have Mettā, it's opposite of hatred, or opposite of dosa. We will not have fear. We were not afraid of seeing any living beings. So if we are afraid of seeing living beings or any kind of suffering living beings, we're going to be successful in meditation, especially in Mettā meditation. So later we also have to continue talking about Karuna meditation, right? Also, the same things will happen. We have to see suffering living beings, suffering beings. So if we have to see suffering beings, then we actually, by the power of Mettā or Karuna, we won't have any like fear or any dread in this case. It will be okay.
Question number 3. There are 2 small questions in this question number 3. Dear Sayadaw, question number 1. There was an experiment done in Japan before. They found that after Mettā chanting into the water, the composition of the water is better than the water without Mettā chanting. If I am very ill, does sending Mettā to myself help to alleviate some of my physical pain? How do we explain these 2 cases in terms of ultimate realities? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so actually in Buddha teaching, Buddha didn't recommend to really Mettā to non-living things. Sure, I also have heard some news when I come to Singapore. They also already Mettā to plants and trees. Also, it can grow faster like that. It can grow well. In this kind of case, we can say Mettā can affect all kinds of living things or non-living things. We can understand like that. For about sickness, actually, when we have very strong tranquility, we cannot feel pain. We will not feel pain. It depends on the power of tranquility. For example, when we already Mettā to ourselves, but we don't feel tranquility, we may have pain. But sometimes when we have, after some time, we may have tranquility, we can overcome the pain, right? It depends on how strong your tranquility, especially in Bali we call passaddhi. When you have very strong passaddhi, you can overcome the pain. Okay, now next one.
Question number 4. Wonderfully Venerable Sayadaw, does a Bodhisattva which aspires to save all beings? Some beings will not attain Nibbana during this sasana, but will attain in the future Buddha sasana. So someone may say, this Buddha did not save all beings. How should we understand this? And should a Bodhisattva aspirant wish to save all beings? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so that means those are trying to help all the living beings. We're going to say save, right? But trying to help all living beings. For example, Sajjaka Paribhajaka. Although the Buddha explains 2 long discourses in Majjhima Nikaya, then you can go and read Jula Sajjaka Sutta and Mahā Sajjaka Sutta. Very long discourse, very long discourses. Even he didn't say, right? Buddha Saranam Gacchami. He didn't say, please accept me as your disciple. He's too arrogant, you know. But when Buddha explained very long discourses for him, of course, in the future, he can attain headship. It can be for his parami. Okay, so that means sometimes Buddha can help them until they can attain headship. Sometimes the Buddha can help living beings until they can attain the lower noblehood. Sometimes the Buddha can help them to fulfill parami, not more than that. Okay, that means the Buddha trying to help all living beings as much as he can, but he cannot save all living beings. Okay, next one.
Question number 5. Wonder me, Venerable Sayadaw, before when I practice metta meditation superficially, not with absorption on someone, I might see their face, but when I practice based on area, for example, all beings in this monastery are Vera Hontu, sometimes I would see the house or area to fill with light or to look pleasant, but I didn't see the beings. If I see the house instead of the beings inside, does it mean the practice is wrong or inefficient? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, so here the object of metta is living beings, not the houses, right? If you can visualize, if you can see living beings, it will be more sufficient, more efficient. So, okay, that means not so powerful yet, right? If you are, when you become powerful, you can see living beings. You can also maintain seeing it, and you can also wish them to be free from danger, and your metta will become stronger. Okay, next one.
This is a Chinese question. May Chinese interpret Bante have to translate?
Vandami Sayadaw. In what conditions the metta bhavana is considered successful? Or,
Okay,
yeah.
is there anything?
No, means in what conditions the sending of metta is considered successful?
Okay. But the first step, when we can break down the barriers, we can say it's successful. There's very, very basic steps. Then, and then the next step, when we can attain jhana, is also successful. Okay, okay, that means 2 different steps. Breaking down barriers, so 1 more steps. Very, very basic steps. When we can attain jhana, it gets successful, right? After that, jhana is successful. Okay, now, next one.
Question number 7. Dear Sayadaw, when I radiate metta using 528 ways, how quickly shall I enter first, second, third jhana? When I do it quickly, if I'm not sure if I have entered jhana or not, what is the problem and how can I improve? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, in this case, it depends on the skill or masteries of jhana. So, you know, until you can discern jhana fetters clearly, you must enter the first jhana. After that, when you can discern jhana fetters clearly, you can emerge from it and then discern jhana fetters, then move to the second jhana. Until jhana fetters become very clear, then trying to do the jhana, something like that. So until you have absorptions, jhana fetters are functioning well, emerging from it, until you can check jhana fetters, you must try. Okay?
This is Chinese questions.
Dear Sayadaw, for this is Anapanasati. Is it true that subtle breath or whole breath until a meditator arrives in this stage, then it will be Ukaha Nimitta? According to Paul Sayadaw, subtle breath is very important. So why is it important? Is there a way to specifically practice a subtle breath? So this is the first part. Second part, the 19th wholesome cetasika, when it arises, Panindriya is not included. And for the 5 faculties is not complete. So would they be Ukkaha Nimitta and Patipaka Nimitta? And in this case, the 5 jhana factor, would that be complete?
Okay. So the first one, subtle breath, is very important. Sure, you know, in every single improvement, the breath will become very subtle. Actually, I have already mentioned all the things step by steps. So gradually our breath will become very subtle. Okay, one more thing here. When we have subtle breath, we are impatient. If we are impatient, we cannot improve anymore. Also, then we have to be more patient when we have subtle breath. This is the one thing. So now, okay, in the very beginning of sitting, breath will be a little bit gross. Gradually, when we can practice a little bit longer, then the breath will become subtle. When the breath becomes very subtle, for example, like sometimes you can know only in breath, sometimes only the out breath, and sometimes both the breath disappear. It's changing like that. So when the light become very bright, when nimitta become very bright, then the breath become very subtle. Then your mind will switch to the light, switch to the light. You cannot know the breathing anymore. So that is why we can say subtle breath is very important. When you have subtle breath with the background light or background nimitta, more patience. You have to focus. You have to keep focusing on the subtle breath until your mind naturally, automatically switch to the nimitta, right? So it will be useful. Another one is 19 Jitasikas. So whenever there's a wholesome mind or wholesome consciousness arises, then 19 Jitasikas will arise together with any consciousness. Then Banyandriya, sometimes it will arise, sometimes it will not arise. In the case of jhana, or in the case of nimitta, without Banyandriya, we cannot see the nimitta. Without Banyandriya, we cannot attain asset concentration or absorption concentration, right? So similarly, jhana factors. Without Banyandriya, jhana factors cannot be powerful and strong. Okay? Next one.
This is Vietnamese question.
Question number 9. Dear 𝐸𝐸𝐻,
Thưa Ngài Xe Đó, khi thực hành thiền thì cư sĩ nên Vanami Xe Đó, when practice Mettā meditation, so in which language should the meditator recite in the four formula? So can he recite in Vietnamese or most in Pali or English? Before that, I practice Mettā meditation according to the 10 direction, different direction, but now I change the way of practice. Can I change the way of practice?
Okay. When we are practicing metta or any meditation subject, we can use any language we can understand. It's not Kamavacha, When we chant Kamavacha, we have to use only Pali language. So here in this case, you can use any language, it doesn't matter. Okay. So for about 10 directions, according to the chanting, daily chant, you can also follow. You can also follow the clockwise. This is also okay. You can change these two. You can alternate these two ways. Next one.
Question number 10. Vanami 𝐸𝐸𝐻, if we have enemy who often try to bully us, besides protecting our mind from getting angry, reflecting on karma, ownership, is it appropriate to report their bad behaviors to teachers to prevent them from disturbing other people staying together? Because the same person often quarrel with many people. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Of course, if you are in the community So you should report to the teacher or any responsible person there in order that he may be able to prevent him or her to disturbing other people, right? Okay. Next one.
Question 11. Dear Sayadaw, can someone consider as radiating Mettā if he radiate Mettā without attending jhana concentration? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, we can also say radiating Mettā without attaining jhana. It also can be the basics of like pure Vipassana vehicle meditators. The Buddha recommends us to practice 4 project meditations. One of them is a Mettā. Although we cannot attain jhana, we can radiate Mettā. It's okay.
Wonderful, Venerable Sayadaw, I have heard that we should share merits with the good guardian spirits of the house first, and the evil spirits only when sharing merits with all beings, generally because sharing merits with the bad spirits may make them stronger, and we want the good guardian spirits to be stronger. Please explain this, Sayadaw. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Actually, it depends, okay? We cannot say, we don't have that kind of concept in Buddha's teaching. For example, Mara is a very bad, he's also powerful. Also, his rank is, Pranimita Vasavati. So that means it depends on their karma in the past, then they will have stronger power. Whether good spirit or bad spirits, they may have stronger power. Of course, bad spirit will be reborn in the hell after this life, right? In this case, okay, mostly we just share merit towards good spirits first. After that, we just share it merit all divine beings like that, right? So, okay. Anyway, it's okay, right? And this one.
These are Chinese questions.
Once every time when I try to move house, I will face with some problem. So usually I will send Mettā to all the beings. So the problem in this like this, when all these problems arise as if they are trying to block my moving away. So how should I solve this problem?
Actually, in Myanmar, where traditionally we have some chanting. We are going to move to a new place, new house, like a Ratana Sutta, Dasaka Sutta, Mettā Sutta, and so forth, right? So if you can do this kind of chanting or this kind of recitation, it will be more beneficial. Okay.
This is also Chinese questions.
You would like to ask this Sima Samveda, breaking the boundary, is one of the steps to consider successfully sending Mettā. So what does this mean by Sima Samveda, which makes this Mettā successfully been sent?
Okay, so in this case, we love all the living beings equally. This is called breaking all the barriers. For example, I have already mentioned, we love ourselves and our dear, the one who dear to us, equally. Then we love ourselves, dear person in different person equally. We love ourselves in different persons, or dear person in different person, and enemies equally, without any barriers. Everything is the same, we are the same. We have Mettā to all the living beings the same level, the same quality. This is called breaking down the barriers. Okay.
Question 15. Dear Sayadaw, how long does it take to practice 528 Mettā in bout of generally? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
it depends on meditators, right? It depends on the skill. So if they are smart, or if they have learned many different things easily, mostly we will teach like the first day only 4 types of persons, right? Ourselves, respected, 5 types of person: ourselves, dear person, respected person, dear person, indifferent person, enemies. So 10% each, one by one. Then next time, to break down barriers, we will change the order. We ourselves, dear person, indifferent persons, enemies. So one day just for breaking down barriers. After breaking down the barriers, we will talk about 10 directions also, right? Then just all living beings, all the 12 living beings in 10 directions. So 3 or 4 days, it depends on their conditions. Okay, now, this one.
These are Chinese questions.
尊敬的霞朵，顶礼尊者。有人说，全习阶段。
Someone has said, whole breath is close to 𝐏𝐻 and subtle breath is very close to also 𝐏𝐻. So is there any reference in order to explain this saying?
Actually, we don't have any reference about nimitta and breathing. Okay, as long as we know the breathing, mostly is parikama nimitta. No, when we have 𝐏𝐻, there will be the sign of concentrations. Right, there can be different shape, different color. We have already mentioned about it. So 𝐏𝐻 we have shape and the color. Okay, this one.
Question 17. Dear Sayadaw, if there are the person who have more vichya seeds than karana ones, and the person who have more karana ones than vichya ones, and they support and help each other, then the former one can grow the probability of meeting Arya and so on. And the latter one can do the probability of understanding Dhamma and success in meditation and so on. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. So that means in the future it's possible, right? We can then if they can help each other in the future, it's a possibility. Okay. There's no question, just a statement.
This is Chinese questions.
尊敬的霞朵，顶礼尊者。
Vandami, this is also following the previous question. Whole breath is close to 𝐏𝐻. So the question is, whole breath, can it achieve Patipaka nimitta also?
Actually, it's a little bit, this one is a little bit messy. Breathing and nimitta don't get confused. So we're going to say closer or far. Right? Okay, for example, you may have subtle breaths. You may also have like a whole breath body. Then what about breathing? You know it. You also can also see the nimitta. It can be any conditions. So when we talk about Patipaka nimitta, sure, at the time you don't know it. Then when Patipaka nimitta become very powerful and very strong, you cannot know the breathing anymore. So that means as long as you know the breathing, then it can be 𝐏𝐻 nimitta, it also can be Patipaka nimitta. We're going to say close or far, okay?
This is also
尊
Chinese
敬的
question.
霞朵，顶礼尊
Vandami
者。
Sayadaw. Just as Sayadaw had mentioned, but he is not so clear. Mettā bhavana, what is the nimitta for Mettā bhavana? Is it a person, a specific person, or 是自己要心里看到的那个人? Is a specific person or the person that he can see in his mind? Would that be nimitta?
Okay. So for example, when you are radiating metta to a respected person, you must be able to see that respected person in your mind. You can visualize that respected person in your mind. Then you can also radiate metta towards that respected person. You can attain jhana, right? Similarly, in different persons, enemies, also all living beings. It depends on the part you are practicing. For example, in the very beginning, we recommend to practice yourself. You can attain jhana, respected person, dear person, indifferent person, and enemies. So in every single person, you have to see clearly. You have to wish them to be free from danger and so forth, right? This is called the object of metta. This is the object of nimitta. So if you can see clearly, if you can visualize or maintain the picture or the image steadily and naturally, then we can say you are successful. You have seen the nimitta. Then because of the power of the metta, you can attain jhana, right? Okay.
This is also Chinese questions.
尊敬的夏董，
Brahmavihāra, during the practice of Metta Bhavana, the respectful person, must he choose one specific person or choose a group of person, or generally choose a group of person which he respects? 无成就的初学者可以选以涅盘 or for beginners, can he choose a person who has already attained Nibbana or Arahant for his respectful person in order to send metta?
Okay, so that means it must be a living being also. For example, like Venerable Sariputta has already passed away, right? We cannot radiate metta to him anymore. So in your community, there will be some respectable person, very high virtues or very calm, very quiet or something like that, qualifying people. Then you can take any respectable person as an object, right? It must be your own sex. That's good enough. So it doesn't mean Arhat or somebody like that. Okay.
Question 21. Dear Sayadaw, if someone doesn't have the opportunity to go to the Burma to practice meditations, but they stay at home to practice mindfulness meditations, they apply the Buddha's teachings of 4 foundations on the body, the feeling, the mind, and the Dharma. Then they can be reached to Nirvana, I believe Nibbana. Thank you. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay. Okay, so that means the 4 foundations of mindfulness is actually very deep and very profound. Actually, when we go and read Master Patana Sutta and its explanation, it will be very, very messy. Anyway, so sometimes we have to understand clearly what we call 4 foundations of mindfulness. If we can practice systematically, right? If we are practicing systematically, or if we are practicing righteously, as Buddha taught, but it's possible to attain Nibbana anywhere. But one more thing, if we are not very clear in Buddha's teaching, there must be a teacher to discuss about Dhamma or meditation. And there are many, many unclear points in Master Patana Sutta. For example, iti esatawa kaye kanubasi viharati, right? That's internally he focused body in the body, or he like mindfully focused body in the body. Externally, he focused body in the body, something like that. So mostly that kind of things are not very clear for all the meditators. Then it will take time to understand Master Patana Sutta clearly in detail. Okay, if you can understand in detail, if you can practice according to Buddha's teaching, it's possible. Okay.
Wonderfully Venerable Sayadaw, question number 1. Do Paranimitta Vasavati Mara Deva do Kusala and wish for all the beings to become Devas, just not wanting others to become Brahma and Arahant? Or do they also wish for beings to suffer in four awful states?
Okay. So that means, of course, as a living being, sometimes he may have good wish, he may have a bad wish, right? We're going to say exactly all the time. So as all other divine beings wish, he may wish his friend to come to Devarams. Actually, the main thing is he don't wish anybody to attain Nibbana or to attain to be noble persons. Okay, next one.
Question number 2. Why do Mara Deva occupy the highest Deva realm, which is even higher than Tusita in ranking? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, it depends on Kusala Karma. You know, when we talk about an existence, we have to talk about their karma, also their kilesa, right? So their karma will produce because they wish that they were born. Okay, next one.
Question 33. Desayador, after enter Mettā jhana, will the nimitta of all living beings be like a picture that is not moving or static pictures? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Oh yeah, it should be like a very stable, like without moving, sure. Okay.
This is Chinese questions.
尊敬的夏多，顶礼尊
Vandamisiyado, when I send Mettā to a respectful person, and the image of this person appear very easily in his mind, and it is also very stable. In this way, how would I know I can enter into jhana? When I enter into jhana, would I know by myself? Because there is no other teachers around me that can teach me.
Okay. So one more thing here, you know, in Paotoya, mostly we just teach metta meditation to advanced meditator. You know, they have already practiced anapanasati, kasinas, and all other basic meditation subjects. When they can practice successfully, we just teach metta meditation. They have nimitta already. That's when they can maintain easily. For those who started metta meditations from the very beginning, very difficult to see the nimitta, very difficult to stabilize the picture. Sometimes the picture will appear and disappear, you know, frequently. If you can maintain well, that means your mind power become very powerful, very strong already. When this absorption states, when your mind can absorb on that living beings and like a metta formula, then we can say you are attaining jhana. Okay.
The Chinese interpreter Bante, any more questions on your side?
There is no more question in my side.
How about Bante Pawara? Any more question on your side?
There's a question in
my
the
side.
chat box, I think.
In the chat box, there's a question.
尊敬的夏多，礼敬夏多。
Vandamisiyado, this is a sharing. He says when Seado is giving Dhamma talk through Zoom, at Seado's side there is a birds chirping, and she feels chirping, and she feels very disturbed, and he tried to send metta to this bird, and after that the bird has quieted down. Just a sharing question.
Oh, like this. Today I cannot hear any birds chatting. Okay, maybe I forget to cancel the noise, right? Okay. Okay, thank you.
My pleasure.
Hello.
He's saying my. Do we have any more questions?
Yeah, in the chat box.
Oh. Question 26. Desayador, if I don't study much about the Abhidhamma, but I follow the 4 foundations of mindfulness and study the Nikaya thoroughly. Will mindfulness meditation be effective? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, Nikayas, how you understand Nikayas are important, right? So sometimes one sutta is not enough for all the meditators. For example, Satipatthana Sutta, it's explained to very wise people, special people. So it cannot be useful for all the people. We cannot say all people. So there will be some hidden meanings we have to know according to Buddha teaching. As I have mentioned before, for example, internally and externally. Mentioned, but now in modern community, I have never known anybody teaching like this. Similarly, Samudaya Dhammanubhasi, Vaya Dhammanubhasi, there are 25 ways of discernment in Samudaya Dhammanubhasi, 25 ways of discernment in Vaya Dhammanubhasi, and so forth. And in modern community, I have never heard anything like that. Right? Many meditation teachers talk about Satipatthana Sutta. They will never explain that kind of things. So we need comparative study. It doesn't mean you have to be expert in Abhidhamma, but you have to know all the things thoroughly. Okay? Okay, next one.
Mettā, can you read?
Okay. Dear Sayadaw, I send metta by visualizing the person smiling. Is that wrong? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
It's right. It isn't wrong. Okay. Okay, it's right. Huh?
Dear Sayadaw, what Kammatthana is the first choice for practicing samadhi?
Mostly, people are very familiar with breathing meditation. That's why mostly we recommend mindfulness meditation, mindfulness of breathing. But there are some problems with mindfulness of meditation because, sometimes they are not as blocked, or some nasal sickness. Then we have to change other subjects, like a 4 elements, kasinas, and so forth. Okay, so it depends on personality. At the time of Buddha, when we go and read in the story, in the Brahmavihāra story, they also learn metta meditations as the foundations. They also learn the Bodhisattva as the foundations, Anapanasati as the foundations. So we can say all the samatha subjects can be foundations of vipassana. Okay. This one. Okay then.
尊敬的西亚多老师刚刚说，修行慈心禅那是有定力以后才修。
Just now Sayadaw mentions that the Mettā Bhavana can be practiced after having samadhi. So may Sayadaw please explain?
Mettā Bhavana will be explain.
To practice Mettā Bhavana, one must have a concentration first. So what's a Kammatthana should one practice first?
Okay, it depends on personality. We cannot say exactly. Mostly in Pāvadhoya, we start with Anapanasati. After that, if they can practice successfully, we have 30 body parts. Also Sakalita meditation there. After that, we have kasinas, immaterial jhanas. After that, we started metta meditation. So maybe for other meditators, there will be exceptions. For example, they have practiced Anapanasati successfully, then they can practice metta meditation. It's also possible, right? It depends on personality. It will be different. There are some meditators, they cannot attain kasina very easily. Right? We can also change to only metta meditations or like full project meditation, something like that. Okay.
This is Chinese
尊敬的
question.
西亚多弟子你进班的，家里孩子养的猫。
It's regarding the cats in his house. she has a cat always meowing. More, then he want to, when he meditate also, this cat also meowing. So how should he do?
Actually, you should just keep it far away from you. It will be easier, right? Sometimes, you know, if you cannot make your mind calm, peaceful, you cannot have metta, right? So first, just keep it far away from you. Okay? If necessary, you can use earplug, but it's not very good habit. Okay, next one.
Question 31. Dear Sayadaw, what will be the benefits if we practice general metta or metta jhana till last moment of our life? How will it affect our future life? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Okay, although we cannot attain jhana, if we just practice general metta, we can be able in good destinations, right? Like as a human being, as a divine beings. So when we can attain jhana in the last moment of our life, we can be reborn in the Brahma worlds, at least first jhana worlds, and then if we can attain third jhana, we can be reborn in the third jhana realms. Okay, next one.
These questions.
尊敬的夏多，请问尊者，
Vandami Sayadaw, dear Sayadaw, the 4-element meditation, what is the nimitta for 4-element meditation?
Okay, so for meditation, so we can say like a translucent body. When nimitta become translucent, like ice block, then we can say this is a nimitta. Okay.
Dear Sayadaw, will we reborn as beautiful being if we practice metta at our last moment? Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Of course, you know, metta is powerful. Then sure, we can be. There can be many benefits of metta. You know, we can live long. Then we can also have, right, like a good complexion. So many different benefits. It's possible, sure. Okay, now next one.
This is Chinese question.
尊敬的夏多，弟子
地方多次向离开，
某地方多次想离开，都各种原
觉
因阻碍
海的。
我，目前还困
Vandami Sayadaw,
做才好。萨度
someone has been blocked in certain place, cannot leave. There are many reasons that is blocking him, and now still blocking him. So how should she do?
It depends on what kind of blockage, right? So it's more than like a mental, like hindrances. Because you're trying to overcome hindrances. It's a bodily, persons, sure. It depends on the personality. There are many different solutions. Ita vata cha amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numodandu sabbe buddha numodandu sabbe satta numodandu sabba sampati siriya idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idam me nyatinam hotu sukhita hontu nyatayo idam me punyam asawakaya waham hotu idam me punyam nibbanasa bhajayo hotu Mama punya bhagam sabba satanam bhajami te sabbe me sama punya bhagam labantu sadhu sadhu sadhu